Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Carrie Waltz and I share tips, tools, and techniques for the artist in you. And today I'm going to do a follow-up on my art vest. I thoroughly enjoyed wearing it this week. Matter of fact, that's pretty much how I carried all my art. So I'm going to show you how it works and what's in my pockets. When I was out and about, doesn't, do great for the figure, but hey, it holds everything I need really for a week of journaling. I would take this, it's just a little triangle stool, and I'd set it up. And I'm going to just start and show you all the different things that are in here. One, this little zipper pocket right here is where I keep my keys and a pen. I'm going to take it out as I go because I'm going to pack it up. Right under the keys is a little interior pocket. And because I'm in the Smoky Mountains and I don't have access to Wi-Fi, I kept one of my books that had my contact information they could scan, an example of a portrait, and then some of my other journal entries so that they could see what I do without me having to show them what I'm currently painting on. The other side, opposite of that, was similar, but it had other examples of art, pastels, oils, even some acrylics, that if they wanted to see some other type of art that I do, then I could just pull that out. So if I was working where there was Wi-Fi, I probably wouldn't even fool with this except for the digital or virtual business card and contact information. Okay, after that, over here, if I'm not in the Smoky Mountains, I'm just in the area, I want to use this journal. It's my small watercolor journal that I do quick sketches with. This was one while we were watching the judging down at the park in Maryville. I think I said that right. It's not Maryville, but it's Maryville. And that's how the locals say it. And as I was getting ready for the quick paint, I did a little sketch at a coffee shop and I didn't like how it was going. So I put a sticker over it. So that's okay. Okay, so that's my non-Smoky Mountain journal. Since I was painting in the Smoky Mountains, this is my Smoky Mountain journal. I'm not going to go through and show it to you today, but I just want you to know that you can hold quite a large a piece back here to a sketchbook, watercolor journal, whatever. But that's where that was. So I could quickly get it out, put it in my lap, and work. I also had some personal things like hand sanitizer. And inside this interior pocket, I had some dry towelettes. And then these little circles are citronella sticker dots to keep the insects from biting. Also had a small wallet. I love this one. Has my ID and credit cards and lip gloss because I can't stand my lips to be dry. As well as I did not use these because I wanted to be able to hear people coming beside me or be available for conversation, but earbuds are something good to have if you are in a crowd and you just want to tune out or you need to listen to something and not irritate everybody next to you. I also have a very small little container that I put what's called skin food in. Doesn't take much, but it really helps my cuticles when I've been working outside or at any time for that matter. So, still has some other stuff. Also on this side, paper towels. I use those when I paint. To wipe off the brush, I use a water brush. I'll show you in a minute that setup. I'm just double checking that I have everything out of here. I'll go ahead and take this off because I will wash my vest when I get home, and it doesn't need to be washed with this. I also have a whistle. This week, because there were a lot of plein air painters around, I was not really by myself. And I was a little bit, but it wasn't too far from people. But I can have a whistle and blow on it if I feel I'm in danger. But I've never had to use it for that. So very happy about that. Moving on to over here. This is my painting kit, and I'll show you what's in that in a minute. But that and my journal is really all I need. However, you should always stay hydrated, and if your water brush runs out of water, this is a really nice one to have. I just love the fact that it's kind of like a well, it is a flask, but it's clear, and I think they come in different colors, but I had a student that had one in one of my classes, and I said, oh, I just have to get one. So I've just really enjoyed it, and it travels well. It's fallen on the floor many times and hasn't broken. All right, this pocket has a place to hold pens. It actually has 2 places for pens and a little wider spot. And I carry index cards. So if I don't have printed business cards right now, so I can at least write down information, or they can share information with me this way. And when I'm painting, I often use index cards as a spare test sheet, or when I'm sharing how to use a water brush, which I had the privilege of doing several times this week, I use these and not my journal. 2 more things I want to show you in this side pocket that's also a water container. Has a water container that has a flip top lid. I got this at Walmart. It came in a group of 2. It's actually for spices, and you pour your spices in. There was a little divider here, but this has a nice seal on it. Sorry. And you can put water in, put that down, clamp it down, and I have not had it spill when that's clamped. I also use a small water bottle for spritzing, sometimes even cleaning my hands. When I want to paint with this, I pull this out of my back pouch, open it up to the next page I'm on. Painted these this week, started here, and I'll talk about these more in another video, but all of these were painted with what's in here. So when you can get, to me, well, that did have some gouache, so I had some additional supplies for that. But this one, these 2, and these 2, yeah, were what's in here. So let me show you, because it is so user friendly, and when you have this vest, things can hang in your pockets, and you don't really drop everything. So what I do is I have a freezer sheet that I have folded to go over, so that when I turn the page, I just finished this one, so the next one I'm going to paint is right here. So this freezer sheet covers this page. So now I want to get my paint out and what I need to paint. I start with 2 clips that have magnets. This will hold my little palettes. I think you can get them at Dollar Tree. I actually ordered them by the 24 count. This one, you can use a baby Altoid tin if you want, but I ordered several of these in bulk when I taught a class. This is Daniel Smith, Perylene Red, Hansa Yellow, French Ultramarine Blue, sorry, Burnt Sienna. This is my if I'm going to go ultra limited, this is the palette that I take, because I can do so much with this, and these 2 make a really good dark. So as you can see, it's been well used this week. It's a little dirty, but these were not full when I started this week. This is also a little bit of white gouache. You can see right here where I've mixed a little bit, and that was to lighten some of the dark trunks that I had painted this morning, and I needed them a little lighter than what they were. So you can mix gouache with the watercolors. It just makes it more opaque. So that is my go-to palette. And you'd think, oh, that's so dirty. Yeah, I can clean it. I'll show you how. This is my favorite colors that I supplement that with. The dioxazine purple is just convenient because I don't have to mix my purple, and I use a lot of purples when I paint outdoors because I love to add that to the shadows. This is Peacock Blue by Mission. Not sure if that's available anymore. This is Quinacridone Magenta by QOR. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And this is Gamboge by Daniel Smith. But these three are an alternate primary, and then of course the purple, and you got to smile, happy little mint. So these are my additional paints. Then I take a little clip here. Oops, forgot the paper towels. Paper towels were in another pocket. I do grab that because this kind of it's a little bulky and makes this a little too tight. Sometimes I get one or two in there, but I'd rather keep them separate. So when I'm outside, I always want to secure my paper towel so it doesn't blow away. And often I'm painting in my lap. I do have a setup where I can put it on an easel, but I really prefer my lap. Okay, so what's all this mess? Oh, I've got 2 sets of these. This is an easy way to carry tape. You just get an old gift card that's used, or old business card, and you just wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap. This one has been used quite a bit. This one's a little thicker. But if you need masking tape, you just pull it off, use what you need, put it back down when you're through. Same way with the blue painter's tape. So I often use it sometimes to create borders around my work. This is watercolor paper, and it's heavy enough that I can put a border of tape around and then pull it off. I didn't have it real secure here, or this was a little wet when I painted it and I lifted it off a little too soon, but that's okay. See, this one's nicely done if I want a border. So that's why I have the tape. I use water brushes. This changed my world. My most popular YouTube video is my introduction to these. It's Pentel. You can see that it has a nice point. So if you don't want to make a big line, I'll just get an index card to show you because we're going to need to clean the palette anyway. If you just want to paint something tiny, you barely, you barely touch the paper. And you can get a pretty good tiny line. If you want something bigger, you can press it down, add some water, spread it out, and whatever. Now, normally I don't use this kind of water when I'm journaling because I want to be able to finish what I'm doing and get out and move to the next thing. So, but you can lift it off. Just dab it with a piece of paper towel, or just leave your journal open long enough for it to dry. But anyway, when working with this water brush, always remember to put the lid on the back, because if you lose this, you can damage the tip. So I put the lid on the back. Gravity from holding the pen upright allows the water to make the brush point wet. So the brush point's wet. I want to come over here and kind of clean up my yellow, because my last painting I painted a lot of green. So I let the paint dry long enough that the top layers, I never fill these half pans full of water. Don't do that. I don't think anybody would. But I just clear enough of that top layer of paint that if I need some pure yellow, I could probably get enough of it to do what I need. All right, so that's not bad. See, there's some really clean right there. These are called half pans. I bought them on Amazon, and they had some kits come with the magnet, so you can just stick the magnet to it, and I use a thin point Sharpie to write what color it is. But I found that works really well. I don't clean my lids until I need space for it. But all you do is just wet the lid so that you have a clean mixing space. That's the joy of watercolor, is you can use it again. If I need this kind of dirty red, I was working with brick color today. Well, that's probably not much red, so I guess I used most of it up. Kind of that was more of a brown. But hey, you can even mix on the paper, so that's okay. But whatever you need, you mix. You wipe your brush off. You do not have to have a water container to wash your brush in. I would never dip this in water and swoosh it around. You don't need to, and if you get in that habit, you're gonna, why use a water brush if that's what you're gonna do with it? Okay, so if you're used to traditional watercolor painting, this might throw you off a little bit because you have additional water being added every time. So the water brush is my favorite Pentel. Works great. If you need to fill it up, you unscrew it, get a pipette. It's the easiest thing to fill your water with. I have that water bottle. Just dip it in the water bottle, suck it up, put it here, squeeze it in, and it's so easy to fill up and you don't make a mess. I've made a mess trying to pour from a water bottle, and I didn't want to do that anymore because I want to drink the water. So, very important, water brush. Find one that you like. There's many different brands. I also have a kneaded eraser that I leave in one of my tins. I prefer to leave it there so it doesn't get too lost. And what's cool about these is you can kind of form it to fit whatever space you have, and you knead it, you stretch it and twist it all up, and that's how you clean it. Okay, I like to have a straight edge, and this one has a 90-degree angle, which is nice. So if I'm doing buildings and need something like that, it's helpful. I always have a mechanical pencil. I often take two just in case, just like I take two water brushes just in case one gets clogged, and it's rare that that's happened. I like the Uniball Eye as a black pen to draw with. There's a variety of pens, but it has such a quick, easy flow to it, and it's a little bigger than my next favorite pen, which is a Micron 005, and there's more than one brand of the 005, but if you'll see, the 005 has a much tinier line. So often if I'm starting to draw something, I might start with this one, because if I'm working with this and I mess up, it's not a big heavy line, so, whatever. But it's whatever you choose. But great for tiny detail and your signatures. I like the Signo Uniball. It is my favorite white gel pen. White gel pen is used for many things, but lettering and highlights is one of my favorite. Now here I used it for the light on the what are the cables that were at the bridge. Let's see where else I used. Oh, I painted the oval kind of, the danger sign red, let it dry. Then I used the white gel pen for the lettering. I used this pen for the venomous snakes lettering, and any other teeny tiny detail I used the smaller pen. So I just like to have a variety, at least two. And you can use the small gel pen for trunks of a tree. This one I drew before I painted it. I mean, it just gives you a variety of things to use it for. And like the trees here, trees here. And if you feel like the gel pen is too harsh, then before it's totally dry, hit it with your brush and it kind of melts into the painting, so it's not so harsh. I have a small gouache that I carry with me, but sometimes I don't because I have a little bit of that in here. If I don't carry my water bottle to spray with, I have this spritzer that I can spritz the paint with or the page with if I want a real soft look or if I want to activate my paints before I paint with them. There are 2 doggy-do bags here, and that means I always have a trash bag available. And sometimes I clip that to my journal. So when I'm painting, I just have this in my lap, and I have the paper towel attached here, and I just paint away. So I really hope that this will inspire you to get out and try it. You have no excuse whatsoever. I met one of the nicest gentlemen this week. His name's Bill, and we were both at the Plein Air and the Smokies event, and I just met him on one of the trails near where the artists were painting and asked if he was here for the event. And when he said yes, I asked him what medium he used, and he said pastel and watercolor, and that he was getting started in plein air and just kind of wanted to watch the professional artists do what they know how to do and learn from them. And I said, yeah, that's kind of why I'm here. And I said, I journal. I said, but do you know about the water brush? Because I share, anybody that'll listen, I really pause and take my time to share, because one time, years ago, an artist did the same for me, and it has changed my world. So if you have something you're passionate about, find a way to share it with others. Find a way to change and influence them in some positive way. So it's wonderful to be able to carry your stuff without a huge amount of weight. I will be going over some of my experiences in the Smokies in the next few videos. I'm just not going to make this one too long, or my phone won't upload it. So hopefully I didn't overextend my upload capabilities, and you will see this shortly. Thanks for joining me.